A half-century ago, Peter Drucker put management on the map. Leadership has since pushed it off the map. We are now inundated with great stories about the grand successes and even grander failures of great leaders, but we have yet to come to grips with the realities of being a manager. This is a book about managing, simply managing, even if the job is not simple. It considers the characteristics, contents, and varieties of the job, as well as the conundrums faced by managers and how they become effective. My objective is straightforward. Managing is important for anyone affected by its practice, which means not just managers, but everyone. We all need to understand it better in order that it be practiced better. Some of the questions addressed in the book include these. Are managers too busy managing? Is leadership really separate from management? Is the Internet hindering managers as it helps them? How are managers to connect when the very nature of their job disconnects them from what they are managing? Where has all the judgment gone? For years, I have been asking groups of people in this job, what happened the day you became a manager? Were you offered any guidance at all? The response has almost always been the same. Puzzled looks, then shrugs. You are supposed to figure it out for yourself, like sex, I suppose, usually with equally embarrassing initial consequences. Yesterday you were playing the flute or doing surgery. Today you find yourself managing people who are doing these things. Everything has changed, yet you are on your own, confused and overwhelmed. This book is meant to help, not by offering easy answers, there are none, but by encouraging deeper understanding. Some sobering reality. In the late 1960s, for my doctoral dissertation, I observed 5 managers during 1 week each. The result was my first book, The Nature of Managerial Work, 1973. In the 1990s, I revisited that work, spending a day observing each of 29 managers in a variety of settings, business, government, healthcare, NGOs, at senior, middle, and operating levels in organizations ranging from 18 to 800,000 employees. The insights were revealing and sobering. Full descriptions of these days and what I learned from them can be found on www.mintzberg-managing.com. I used these findings in my 2009 book, Managing. Simply Managing is a shortened version of managing, reduced to its essence for managers and everyone else interested in management. Here is some of that sobering reality. Top managers take the long view, see the big picture. Lower-level managers deal with the narrower, immediate things. So why was Gord Irwin, front country manager of the Banff National Park in Canada, so concerned with the environmental consequences of a parking lot expansion at a ski hill, while back in Ottawa, Norman Inkster, commissioner of the whole Royal Canadian Mounted Police, was watching clips of last night's television news to head off embarrassing questions to his minister in Parliament that day? And why was Jacques Benz, Director General of GSI, a high-technology company in Paris, sitting in on a meeting about a customer's project? He was a senior manager, after all. Shouldn't he have been back in his office, developing grand strategies? Paul Gilding, Executive Director of Greenpeace International, was trying to do just that, with considerable frustration. Who had it right? One of the managers I studied was Alan Whalen in Global Computing and Electronics at BT in the UK. Because he was a sales manager, you might have expected him to have been meeting customers, or at least working with his people to help them sell to customers. On this day, Alan was selling all right, but to an executive of his own company, who was reluctant to sign off on his biggest contract. To use the conventional words of managing, was Alan planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating, or controlling? Fabienne Lavoie, head nurse on 4 Northwest, a pre- and post-operation surgical ward in a Montreal hospital, was working from 7:20 a.m. to 6:45 p.m. at a pace that exhausted this observer. At one point, in the space of a few